Hello, everyone. For once, my brain did not stop the second the countdown stopped. Because, first off, hello and welcome. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome to my face, card making space. And yes, we are live, unscripted, unfiltered, chaotic. And yes, Tim Holtz is still live. I should have known better. I gave them like a 3-hour window when I decided I was like, oh, I'll just do this like bonus live today. You know he's going to run over. I was literally watching Tim and Heidi right up till about 2 minutes ago. So I'll catch the last of it on their replay. Because so many good ideas. Holiday to the max. So I appreciate those that are tuning in now. Those catching me on the replay. Wonderful. It's all good. It's all good. And yes, technically it's just me, but the unpaid intern, aka my husband, he's upstairs stalking me from his computer, and he'll kind of help out in the chat and stuff, just cause. Normally, I only go live on Sundays at 2 p.m. Central Time. I've been trying to do more like bonus lives. I'm thinking of trying to get a little more consistent. We'll just see. Today was the day that just worked for me. I have 5 million other things on my plate. Life is chaos. But yeah, all sorts of good things. I have a plan in mind of what I'm going to use. Again, because this is just me, even though Chris will try and put some things in the chat, whatever. Everything, like always, regardless of what I'm doing, everything is in the description box below the video. Worth checking out. Expand it. It's all there. The links, the supplies, everything. Possibly, I don't want to make a promise. I might even do 2 cards today. We'll just see, because I prepped. I might get the first one done. They're more clean and simple, which I know isn't my thing. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens. But 1 card at least, possibly 2 if I'm not running like super long. So yeah, hello to everybody. And yeah, we're gonna take a whole sort of turn a little bit. Like I said, Tim Holtz and Heidi are still a bit live with their fabulous holiday card class, Christmas ideas galore. I'm also doing a holiday card, but pivot into more clean and simple. I know. Shocker. Oh my goodness. So, okay. Everything seems to be working. Everything seems to be good. Let's just dive right in and start figuring out what I'm doing with my life, you know? Okay. There we go. So, none of this is new. This is Altenew's Winter Village die set. This came out last year. I've had it sitting here just wanting to use it. And then I pulled it out because it's super cute. You got all the little bits. And this is what I mean by like I prepped, which honestly wasn't even that much work. I die cut my little bits. And then I've got just this for the moment. There's going to be kind of a method to the madness. So I've got the Winter Village die set. And then I've got this Joyous Sentiments stamp set. I think this came out like a couple years ago, I think. That's 2023. Again, oldie but goodie favorites. Love. And no, we're going to make this we're going to make a shaker card. I don't do shaker cards that often. And then in the last like month, 6 weeks, whatever, I've been doing so many, like a crazy person. I don't know what's gotten into me, but shaker. That's what we're going to do, because this set's kind of perfect for it. Because it comes with 2 different options. Although you could use the circle to kind of do the backer, but we're not going to do that. But like you can create like a window, which is what I did. I used this wafer die. Let's get this kind of out of the way. And I just die cut this from just a panel of white cardstock. So right now I've got a window. So like I said, there's a method to the madness. So I did that first, just so I've got my visual. And let's put this away so I don't lose it. And we'll stick this one sort of in here too, just so I've got it out of my face. So I've got my little card front. And then I want to add my sentiment, because once I actually start adding, foam tape, etc., this becomes non-sturdy. So I want to add my sentiment before we actually make this into a shaker. So that's where this set comes in. And I'm going to use, the Happy Holidays sentiment, from the set. You are shaking things up. Yes. Yes, I am. You know, hopefully in a slightly non-chaotic way, but in my life, it generally is chaos. So I've got my stamp wheel. We're gonna kind of line them up. I want to leave a little space because I've got my little die cut bits that I'm going to be sticking here so I can kind of see what I'm doing. So let's even bring them down just a smidge more. Yeah, let's do it like that. So make sure he's straight. Get him in place. Yeah, he good. Why is there Christmas in July? Because July 25th kind of, I don't know why it became Christmas in July, because technically June 25th is the like halfway point. I don't know. Someone else might like actually know why. But yeah, Christmas in July just became a thing. And honestly, I was more okay, well, everything I like, there we go. In previous years, I was kind of just whatever with the whole concept. And I used to get requests like all for years, you know, to do holiday cards throughout the year. And every year I was just like, once I was done my holiday card series, you know, the end of the year would roll around. I was done. I was done. I was like out of it. Didn't want to do it, whatever. And then this year, when January rolled around, I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to commit and I'm going to do like a holiday card on or around because the 25th of each month, because again, chaos and I forget. I don't even know what day it is half the time. So I started doing it. And honestly, you guys, it's been so good. Because I make a lot of holiday cards. I send a lot of holiday cards. And even with me amping it up in the fall, like with the holiday releases, and you know, I'll do like 30 plus holiday videos in my series every year. I don't even get enough made. So it's been working. It's been working. And then yeah, this year, more than one brand, like Altenew, their July release. I already did a video just what was that? 3 days ago? Whenever it was. For their July release, I used some of their holiday products. And that I barely have dabbled. There's so many good things. So yeah, it helps. It helps. I like it. I like it. It just works. So anyway, I'm gonna ink this up with a Dark Knight ink. And yeah, now that I'm in the groove of doing at least one holiday card video a month, it's just been nice watching my stash like build up. You know, because again, it stresses me out how many I need to send out and trying to get them all like going. So, perfection. Love it. Okay, we can take that guy out. And then while I've got this out, I'm going to stamp on the inside too. Whoa, wrong one. And then we'll go there. You had to get your holiday cards done before the craziness starts. Exactly. It gets a little bit chaotic and it just depends on the person, you know, but just I really enjoy the latter half of the year for like crafting and card making, you know, because we've got our Halloween release this fall, Christmas, winter, yada yada yada. Like I love it. I love it. But I get overwhelmed because I need to make a lot of holiday cards. So this has been good. My stash has been growing. And yeah, that video I posted the other day, it's on my channel if you missed it. Using those fabulous, I did a ton of hot foiling. I made a stack of cards. It felt so good. Anyway, inside of my card now. So I'm going to put my card base into here just while I've got my stamp wheel out. And then I'll take another sentiment. Let's just do this one. There's so many good ones in here. I like these. I like these sentiments. Okay, let's line this one up. And this I'm going to also bring down just a smidge. This is an A2 card base, by the way. So 4 1/4 by like 5.5 inches. And I'm going to bring down a little bit because I think I'll probably have a couple of my little treat. Yeah. Method is always to the madness. So we'll line that up. And then Get that on there. And I'm going to use the same Dark Night ink because I'm going to use some of these cardstocks. There we go. And then get everything lined up. Lovely. Lovely. Love it. Love it. Oh, well, thank you, Trina. Yeah, I had so much fun making those cards. Like, seriously. I don't know why I do that to myself. I completely, like, I have so many things I need to get done, deadlines and yada, yada, yada. And then it's like, I'm gonna, like, spend an entire day hot foiling, and it doesn't, I had so many die cuts, but it was fun. It was so fun. And press plates, oh, love press plates. Anyway, okay, there we go. Got the inside. We'll set him aside. We don't need him right now. What we need is our card front. And then we need to make it into a shaker. So to do that, flip her over. I've got a random piece of acetate because I don't get rid of anything. And I already made sure it just fits to cover, you know, this opening. So yay for that. Okay, it doesn't even, as long as it covers the opening, that's all that matters. And then I've got my Altenew tape, which even their, like, the double side tape, and it's the same thing with their foam tape, has their, like, fancy pattern on it. I don't know why. Like, again, if you're familiar with, like, Altenew's packaging and everything, it's all just, it's so over the top, and I kind of love it. So anyway, I'm going to put this adhesive around the outside of this opening so that my acetate can adhere to this. Because if I'm adhering acetate, I prefer what I call dry adhesives like this versus using liquid. I will use liquid glue if I have to. It just kind of depends on the situation, because sometimes if a opening or whatever it is that I'm trying to create a shaker with is too finicky, I'm not going to, like, use a million little pieces of tape. I'll use liquid, but I don't like liquid glue with acetate. I end up getting it everywhere. So adhesive, and then derp derp, and then peel off the backing. There we go. Once we get the backing off, then we can press down. There we go. Press down our acetate. Just like so. So now we got a window. And then I think what I want to do, I've got some of Altenew's cardstock. This is from the Tranquility bundle. Oh, I love. So got Misty Morning and Cloudy Sky and Nimbus and Dark Night. Love. I've talked about their cardstock a lot. Most of Altenew's, like, Crafty Necessities cardstock is around the 90-pound weight. Some a little lighter, some a little bit heavier, you know. But it's a bit lighter weight than other brands. I genuinely like it for that. I don't like it for card bases personally. It'll work. Like, this isn't horrible. You know, it's not flimsy. It's not like 65-pound weight cardstock is flimsy. It's very, very thin. This is like, it's decent. You could use this as a card base. The only reason I don't is usually my card bases are pretty heavy. I've got a bunch of stuff going on, but I like that it's a bit lighter weight because, again, it doesn't apply to what I'm doing today, but like the layering die sets, etc. And I end up, with 7 die cut layers of cardstock. That's why I like the lighter weight. I was getting a little frustrated when I started diving more into like Altenew's layering die sets because all my other card, you know, is 110 pound weight, etc. And like some of those die cuts ended up being like, I'm exaggerating, but like just so thick and bulky, and it was driving me nuts. And then when they released this stuff, at first I was like, it's a little lighter weight, you know. Love it. Converted. Love. So that'll be my background. We'll get to that. I've got, this is Dark Night and this is Misty Morning. And what I'm thinking of is I was going to use it like just like this, as my, like this will be the back of my shaker because we're going to fill it with shaker bits. But there's a little wafer die in here. This little tiny stars. And I was thinking, get this out of here. Oh, it's stuck to the tape. That's what's going on. I was like, what is happening? Okay. So these little stars, I'm gonna die cut them out of here. This will make sense. Let's do it. Let's just do it. So I was like, this might turn out cute. In my head, it looks cute. We'll see. I didn't have a chance to test this. Hello to those just tuning in. Yeah, I don't expect anyone to drop watching Tim Holtz to watch me. I appreciate those that did, or some of you that had, you know, have two screens going. Love it. I would have been tempted to have that going while I was going live, but you know, I'm kind of doing the thing. So let's get. Yeah, this is gonna be cute. Okay, so we cut our little stars. And because my die does a lot of pressure, it's not really going to matter in the scheme of things once everything's assembled. But I just use my bone folder because my machine does put quite a bit of pressure. So like the edges of the die kind of show up. But again, I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I can use my bone folder on the back of the cardstock just to kind of press some of that out so it's not as obvious. But yeah, we got the little stars, and then if I back that with the lighter blue, they just kind of, instead of, I was going to die cut these from like, you know, glitter cardstock or something, but then I would have to adhere every single one. And I was like, it'd be cute. Another thing you could do, I was like, is die cutting these and using them as little shaker bits, like in the shaker. That would look really cute too, but I've got sequins for that. So ideas, but this is quick and easy. So we're just gonna do that. And then all I gotta do then is adhere the two layers together. And then that just peeks through. Looks super cute. Love it. And then yeah, this guy, because it bugs me, even though we're live. Works. Cleaned it out. You know? Just be careful when you're flinging your wafer die. I've literally been a little too vigorous and then it flings off behind me and then I'm on the floor for the next 10 minutes crawling around trying to find it. So, you know, that is a patented CZ design technique, is flinging your wafer die. Is it a constellation? I don't think so. I think they're just kind of random. Pretty sure these are just kind of random and not a specific constellation. At least I only know a few constellations off by heart. Not, you know, not that many of them. AKA like the Big Dipper, Orion's Belt, the Little Dipper. That's what it, because that's all we can see, like where I live. So we're going to put I want to get enough glue just to press these layers into each other. Don't need a lot. Oop, oop, oop. There we go. There we go. Try not to ooze the glue out everywhere. And then slap that onto the lighter blue cardstock. And there we go. Maybe awesome if someone came up with constellation. There were constellation stuff has come out in the past. Yeah, there has been constellation stuff. There was entire like Can't remember if they were die sets or hot foil plates. Yeah, there've been many different releases in the past. It's been a while though since any new ones have come out. So we've got that. Everything in that, all my videos, like I said in the beginning, in all my videos, expand the description box below my videos. Everything I use, all the cardstocks, wafer dies, stamps, accessories, tools, etc., I link to everything. So Trina, that'll all be listed and linked below that video. And it was all Altenew cardstock. So, okay, we've got that. Super cute. I also die cut, there's a little moon in the set, and I die cut that from Buttercream cardstock. So that's going to go like right there, I think. Just really cute. So we'll stick that down just to give a little extra something. So we can stick him right there. So then we've got our little sky. Cute. Cute. Okay, so we've got that so far. Now we need to make this into an actual official shaker. Also, side note, not sponsored, but hey, clearly Canadian. If you ever come, Cullen, sponsor my videos. Totally love this stuff. Okay. Okay, so we need foam tape. Foam tape. I've got both thicknesses. I've got a mess is what I've got. Altenew Instant Dimension Foam Tape. These are, well, same thickness, 2 different widths. Let's get that correct. That one goes with that one. That one goes with that one. So I've got this is the 8-inch thickness. So this is the thicker foam tape. Hello, Mitzi. Everyone say hi to Mitzi at Altenew. She's popping in just to say hi. Mitzi deserves gold stars for putting up with me. No word of a lie. She puts up with my absolute rank chaos, and she is a saint. I'm not even exaggerating, y'all. Like, chaos incarnate right here. Anyway, okay, there we go. 1/8 of an inch standard. I'm like all over the place. Okay. Average foam tape, like across the industry, you know, is 1/16 of an inch. This is just your standard foam tape. This is Altenew's 1-inch roll. Love this stuff. Anyway, it's a 1/16 of an inch, like so. This is, you know, for like bumping up layers, things like that. Back in the day, before we had like thicker options, to be able to do a decent shaker, we would always have to like double this up, you know, fold it in half, or like stack layers of foam tape. It's another reason why I just didn't do shaker cards very often, because I was like, stacking foam tape, yada yada. It got annoying, and I don't like doing it. I'm nothing if not lazy, you know? I just can't be bothered. So anyway, more brands have come out with thicker foam tape. So now we've got 1/8 of an inch thick. So twice as thick as the standard foam tape. So then I don't have to stack. I can just stick this on and go about my way. And it comes in 2 widths. So this is the 1/4 inch width. So nice and narrow. And then they've got the standard, I've kept my circles, 1/2 inch. So this is your standard, you know, 1/2 inch with normal foam tape. And then they have the little thin baby. I like both. And I'm going to use both. It'll make sense in a second. So now I won't have to do any like crazy fiddling. So I'm going to use the narrower stuff first. And if I go like this, go like that. So this is all I'm going to need. And then if you take the backing off your foam tape, it becomes more flexible. And then all I got to do just place it around my opening. And I'm starting to create the opening for my well for my shaker bits. So there we go. You want to make sure you don't have any gaps so nothing can fall out. There's my shaker bit. But now I need foam tape around the rest of this so that it's stable. So, because this is narrower, I'll use the narrow stuff just for this side. Get you in place. Like so. And then I can use, will this fit? Yes. Just. Then I can use the wider stuff just to fill in a couple of my little gaps. There we go. And then squish in that row like so. Now I'm done with the narrower foam tape. And now I can go in and just quickly add a couple pieces to the bottom like that. One more just to give everything stability. And this was why I stamped the sentiment first, because trying to stamp the sentiment after I've got, foam tape in place, it, the cardstock isn't as, flat, durable, etc. I got like schmutz on here. What else is new? So we've got everything ready to go. Before I can add any shaker bits, remove all the foam tape. It's just better this way, because then you don't want to put your shaker bits in and then you're trying to pull up the backing paper and that starts to make everything move, and you don't want it flipping out everywhere. So get all those out of the way. And then, okay. I couldn't make up my mind. I think I'm going to mix. I've got champagne stellar sequins, and one pack has all of these. This is one pack of sequins from Altenew, because they have them in 5 million sizes, from itty bitty tiny ones all the way up. Like that's one package. That's what you get. So I've got champagne, and then I have the Dazzling diamond. Beautiful. I think I'm gonna mix. We'll add both, but just not a ton. So some champagne and some Dazzling diamond. Just a bit. Just a bit. Okay. There we go. So then let's. That's good. You don't want too much. You want enough to shake around, but you don't want so much that it's just a solid win. Or maybe you do. Depending. But I want to be able to see the little stars and stuff. So we'll just add just a smidge. So we got those. Let's mix them up a little bit. Oh yeah, that's enough, because they can, when the card is standing upright, they'll settle down and kind of hide behind the little snowy hills that we got going on. And then we just need to commit.
And we got a shaker.
I love it. Okay, so we has that, and then I cut a piece of, this one is the next shade, I think. Is this cloud? No, this is Nimbus. Nimbus cardstock that I got schmutz on, but that'll get covered up. So I'm just gonna put one, remove the chunk of hair of mine. Just really, I literally sandwiched a piece of my hair in there. Whatever. Okay. I'm just going to put a bit of liquid glue just on the back of the cardstock. There we go. We got that. And then this is an A2 size piece. So I'm just going to center it on this cardstock. And then that'll just kind of frame up the background. And it's shaky. It's shaky. And technically, we could just leave it like this. You know, we don't even need to add all the other bits, but I want to add the other bits because they're cute. Okay, they're super cute. Because I die cut. There's little houses. We got little houses, and I kept them simple. I went white on white because shaker, but you could do whatever color you want. So I've got my little houses. So let's put him right there. And then there's a little wafer die that cuts these little red triangles, which are rectangles, which at first I was like, what? They're the little doors. They're little doors. I think it's super cute. Okay. No, RES, I'm not. When I do bonus lives, because it's just me, even though just because Chris actually has today off from work. So he is helping a little bit from his own office, like just popping in the chat and stuff. No. My Sunday lives, I do the card giveaway. And then I'll eventually do like an extra like bonus giveaway, maybe on like my social media, something for cards to mail out. But yeah. So we'll just add a little tiny dab of glue. And then I die cut the little doors from Heartbeat cardstock. Look at those. They're so cute. They're so cute. So just a little dab of glue. Oop. And then add our little door. And then there's even little roof lines, which again, I just die cut from white just to keep things like simple. So we can pop that little guy in like that. There we go. He's got his little roof line. And then we've got a little roof line on this one. So just a little smidge of glue. And then I can pop. These would look real. I was like prepping for this, but these would look really cute. Ooh, got that there. There we go. You wouldn't even need to do a holiday card with these. These would look really cute if you just die cut these from like a rainbow of cardstock, like a bunch of them, and then lined them up in a row. That'd be really cute. Man, I need more hours in the day. Okay, so I've got those. It's my little tiny houses. And then I have the same, this is Buttercream cardstock. That's what I cut the little moon from. So I've got some of that, and I'm just going to cut. I just need a little piece of it. Where's my little scissors? So I just need like just a little smidge. Yeah. And then if I put some glue on the back of this, like that, and then I can just stick that into place. And then I've got my little house, and it's got little lights on. You know, just adorable. You know, it's so cute. And then I can do the same thing with this one. Just take this little piece, trim down the excess. Yeah, we're good. Put a tiny, tiny little doot, like that. And then I can just pop this into place. And they've got their little lights on. So we've got our little houses like that. Love it. Love it. Okay. I think I'm just going to use little thin foam squares to pop these guys up onto my card front here. Just like that. stick one right there, like that. And then pop this guy like this. Okay, so then we'll do him like right there. So we got our little houses, just looking all adorable. And then we got little trees that I die cut. I did hunter green and reindeer moss. I love reindeer moss. So I die cut these from 2 different shades of cardstock. Seriously. Okay. I need just a little smidge of a foam square for this guy. Just teeny tiny. Okay. Let me make sure I've got things straight here. Oh, look at him. So cute. Actually, I can use that thin one on that tree. And then stick one right there. And then I can pop this one like that. And then that one, a layer on top. How fun is this? And yes, these are small, but none of this was too finicky. You know, sometimes things can get just finicky, which I don't have a problem with that. But these honestly aren't. They're not so bad that, you know, it's driving me crazy sort of a thing. Okay, I can put a little piece like right there. There we go. Okay. So we got that. And then we can stick him onto here. Like that. So there's our like card front. Again, like I said, clean and simple. Not something I do very often, but the whole point of this is the shaker, which got schmutz on it there. Love it. Okay, where's my card base? I already lost it. Why are we surprised? Okay, so then I had die cut a couple more little trees. Get over here. So I've got a couple more trees that I die cut. And I thought I would just stick them onto, that's why I lowered the sentiment a little bit when I stamped the sentiment, so that I can just have a little more space, because I had these left over and waste not, want not. So we'll adhere these little extras right above the sentiment, like that, like that. And then we'll adhere the final one like that. And then I die cut an extra little moon. Yeah, just for funsies. Why not? So then, there we go. We'll stick the little moon right there. And that just finishes off the inside of the card. So, oh yeah, I'm doing really good on time. Who'da thunk? It's amazing sometimes when you do clean and simple, which I ain't not gonna, I do love clean and simple. It's just not something I do very often. And then look at me go. Yeah. So this is going to completely cover. Just make sure everything still lines up and that I don't need to trim anything off. Do I need to trim anything off? Maybe just a smidge. Just a smidge. Okay. I'm going to trim off just a hair right there. Yep. Okay. So that now this can cover. Yes. Okay. Fabulous. Then I can put a bit of bling, or not a bit of bling, put a bit of glue. Got that pile of bling sitting in front of me, and I'm just like, got my glue. And now, always double check. Okay, this is the card front. Everything is good. Let's adhere this one into place. Like so. Okay. And wiggle it a little bit. Make sure you don't have a bunch of schmutz on your fingers. There is card number 1. We got time. I'm going to do the second one, which I'm not going to take credit for. I'll show you in a second what I plan on doing. But yeah. How fun is that? You know? I love this. Some of the little pieces of bling will like settle into the die cut stars. That's funny. But yeah, I could just love it. Okay. We definitely have time to do the second one because I was inspired by, where's the stamp set? Okay, the sentiment set has little derba-derba-ders. Has little snowflake icons. And then I really liked this like sample on here. And I was like, oh, this would be another like fairly quick and easy card to do. And there is a coordinating little die set for it as well that die cuts. There's a little gift, a little envelope. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Because I think I already cut this down. Yeah. So I have my inks. I've got some cardstock. Maybe we'll heat emboss a couple of the little snowflakes. First thing I want to do again is let's stamp the sentiment. Always like get that centered. Make sure I stamp it proper so I don't make a mess. Put the lid on my glue. You know. Okay. Let's stamp the sentiment. I'm going to use the same one because I just really like this one. The Happy Holidays sentiment. So we're going to center him about in the middle of this panel. And then I'm going to ink out with that same Dark Night ink. Where did it go? There it is. Because I'll use the lighter shades for the snowflakes. That's the plan anyway. Okay. So, get him like that. Love it. So there's our sentiment. And then again, while I've got the stamp wheel out, I'll do the inside of my card. My card base again is just a top folding A2 white note card. Let me wipe off the sentiment. Okay. Burp. Burp. There we go. And I'm going to get that out of the way. And then for this one, because I used the Peace of Love sentiment, let's use this one. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I like that sentiment too. Super cute. Okay. There we go. So again, we'll line him up. Make sure it's straight. Yep. Yep. And then, derp, ink him up. This is a really pretty color. I don't reach for blues very often, but like navy shades I use a lot. And this one is just, you know, like this cardstock. Like it's just, yeah. Love it. Anyway. Okay. We will stamp him on the inside. Lovely. Lovely. Wipe off stamp, put stamp back on package, because I learned that lesson on one of my live streams, because if I didn't put the stamp away immediately, I lose it. Okay, put that there. Okay. Doop. Now we've got our little snowflakes. These I'm just going to use stamp blocks. You could use the stamp wheel, especially if you were mass producing. If you line them up and we're doing like panel after panel after panel, that would work. The stamp wheel would be perfect for that, because then you could just stamp. Next panel, stamp. Da, 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 da. But I'm just going to use, where are my stamp blocks? There they are. I'm just going to use little stamp blocks. Okay. Do you find you use your stamping wheel more for stamping or inking? It just depends on what I'm doing. Like, I really like the stamp wheel. But yeah, for things like this, I use my acrylic blocks. But they're not for everyone either. But yeah, because all we want for these is to do like a cluster. And for that, I've got the other colors that go with those cardstocks. So I've got Misty Morning, Cloudy Sky, and Nimbus. You know? And yes, Halloween is also a wonderful time of the year. Halloween, the Halloween series will be starting. Usually end of July, which, you guys, everything's flying by. I don't have enough hours in the day. It hit me when this month hit, and I was like, oh my goodness, I usually start my Halloween series the end of July. Haven't even thought, like, planned anything yet. We'll get there. Yeah, Dark Knight is such a good color. It's such a good color. Okay. For this, I'm not aiming for perfection. Let's just get the lids off. So we got, yeah, Misty Morning, Nimbus, and Cloudy Sky. And we're just gonna commit. So we did that one. Then we can do this one. We can do this one. And then we'll just keep repeating. So I'm going to wipe the stamps off, because I don't want to keep mixing up, and I don't want to stamp a darker shade into the lighter shade, etc., etc. So now I'll take this stamp with the lightest shade. Go in there like that. Go in there like that. Like that. This one we'll do with the Nimbus shade. So we can go in there like that. And like that. And then this one we'll do with the Cloudy Sky. Like that. Like that. Stick one in there, like that. Told you. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. You know? So got that. And then, yeah, I like that. We'll do some heat embossing. But first, I'll quickly also, just cause, but one, make sure I don't get ink everywhere. Wipe that up. And then we can take these. There we go. And then just to balance it, let's take that lighter one and just throw one in right there. Yes. Love it. Love it. How about for these? Yes, these, yes. I would say this quad of inks and cardstock, it's the Tranquility quad, is a gray toned blue shades, you know? Lovely. They're not bright blues because you've got your navy, but yeah, they've got that bit of just toned back color. I love them. I love them. They're beautiful. So beautiful. There's the other. Yeah. Okay. I've got pieces going on here. So there's our card front technically. And you could slap that on your card and call it a day. But I thought I would white heat emboss these snowflakes just to pop up a couple. Because I really, again, I saw it on the example in the packaging and I was just like, oh, that's cute. Although it's stamped and then just die cut. But I wanted to white heat emboss because I just thought that would be cute. So let's do that. Why not? Why not? Okay. So wipe that down. Whoop. Doop. 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 Okay. So I've got 3 of the shades here. This is going to be my background. We're not using that one, but I've got those 3. Why did I not have a piece of cloudy sky in here? We're good. It's enough. I don't need to go overboard. So I've got 3 of the pieces of cardstock from the Tranquility collection. And then white embossing powder. Some clear embossing ink. And it would have helped if I had plugged in my heat tool. Hopefully that doesn't mess anything up. Okay, we're good. Everything's good, other than I need a bigger boat. Dropped everything on the floor, whatever. Okay, so we got all this going. We'll use our anti-static powder tool. And this just helps keep the embossing powder from clinging to anything other than the stamped images. So we'll just go like that. Like that. And then I'll stamp a couple on this one. And then coat that with white embossing powder. Oh yeah, I pet my cardstock. I pet all my supplies. I pet, my piles of bling. It's like, they're so pretty. Okay. Okay, white embossing powder. And then tapped off the excess. And then I'll use this guy. Let's just do 2 again, just so that we've got them. So then same thing. There we go. And then the last one, ink up with the clear ink. Have enough space? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. There we go. Okay. Put lids on all things before I knock them over. There we go. There we go. And then we just got to melt these with the heat tool. Ooh, Mitzi, that's a good idea. Clear would look pretty. Yeah, I like that. Love it. Love it. Here we go. And then last one. Yep. Lovely. Okay. So then buff away any of that excess anti-static powder, which didn't really show up much this time, which is kind of nice. But yeah, buff that away. And then, where's the coordinating die set? There we go. Coordinating die set. There's there's little wafer dies for these little snowflakes. So we can die cut these with these little wafer dies. There we go. There we go. So then let's get these guys lined up. Like so. Yep. And that one will be this one. Oh, and this cardstock's going to be annoying because it's a little bit curled. That's fine. Add a little washi tape for a little extra insurance. There we go. And this guy. Just. Maybe I need to. Oh, that's how it goes. There we go. There's a bigger gap right there. That makes sense. Okay, now we can die cut. Okay. Yes, a sparkly embossing powder. Oh, that would look really pretty. Darn it, you guys. I'm only doing 2 cards. But yeah, sparkly embossing powder or like an iridescent-y type embossing powder. There's so many things you can do with snowflakes. Snowflakes are just fun. Like this whole thing. You know, I went with the same colors of blues, but you could mix up. You could do a whole rainbow set. Because I personally, I don't care. I love rainbows. So do like a pink set and a yellow set and, and it's like, that could be like a gift set. You could have so much fun. So much fun. Okay. Oh, the die stuck to the, it's like, where did that go? There it is. Okay, so now we've got our little die cut snowflakes. Love that. And then where's my little pokey tool? There he is. Poke out those little bits like that. Love it. And then we just got to rinse and repeat on this one. There we go. He's lined up. Just reuse my little washi tape on this guy. Just like so. Doot, doot, doot. And then where's the, there he is. He flipped over. Okay. And same thing, this guy goes like that. Love it. Okay. Move him over. And then we'll run him through. And then we're done with the die cutting. There we go. Okay. If you stamp white pigment ink, will the embossing powder stick to it and will it look whiter? White pigment ink works. I couldn't find I have Altenew's Cloud White pigment ink. I love that stuff. Embossing powder will stick to pigment ink. Sometimes it won't make it whiter per se. However, the benefit to using white pigment ink is if you miss a couple spots with the embossing powder, it's not quite as obvious, but it won't make it like whiter. Like white embossing powder is as white as it gets. And so, but yeah, either one works. Either one. They work fine. Okay, let me put these guys away because otherwise these little wafer dies, I will lose them. There it is. I was like, I've already lost one. Okay, let me just throw them in their little package and then we'll be, which I've just already ripped the packaging. Good job, Amy. Good job. You're doing great. So great. Stick him in there. Oh my gosh. There we go. Okay. Now just stick the coordinates in the back of the package and we're good to go. So now we've got that. And then we've got my panel, which isn't fully A2 size. I had trimmed it down before I stamped it, so it's this white panel is like 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of the Dark Knight cardstock. Love it. Love it. And we could adhere everything just flat if you want your card to be a little less bulky. But since I pulled it out, I didn't link to it, but this is what I showed is Altenew's 1/16 of an inch foam tape. Love so much. It's amazing. So let's put that on the back of this to give it just a little bit more dimension. Doop. Doop. And doop. There we go. There we go. Okay. I know, right? So good. They're all so good. Like, seriously. So fun. These could be cute in a shaker. I need more hours in the day. I need to clone myself. Okay. So we got our foam tape. And then we will center this onto this panel. Make sure I've got clearance. There we go. So then that Dark Knight cardstock frames that up. It's so classy, you know? Something I am very much not. And then double check that this will fully cover my card base again. Oop. Looks like it. Yes. Okay. So then let's glue this to the card base. The foam tape, this is Altenew's 1 inch wide, 1/16 of an inch thick. I don't have a link. I'll have to edit and I'll add a link to it after because I wasn't planning on using this today. But yeah, I love this stuff because yeah, being a 1 inch width, 3 pieces is enough for the card. Just done. And yeah, this stuff I use a lot. This is the same thickness as Altenew's original instant dimension foam tape. It's just got the nicer wide width. Love. So good. So good. Okay. So got that. We'll glue this to the back or to the card front. Put glue on back of piece to adhere to card front. There we go. There we go. Derp. Derp. And then yeah, always make sure that I'm actually adhering to the card front and not the back of the card. And that I'm adhering things in the right direction. And then because it's liquid glue, I have a little tiny bit of wiggle time to make sure. There we go. There we go. Like that. So got that. And now we can just add some of the little snowflake bits. I wasn't going to use all of them, but now I'm going to because I can. Why not? Why not? So we'll just go like that. And just use little thin foam squares just to give them a little extra dimension too. Boop. Boop. Stick one on there. One like that. Oh. Helps if you use the actual foam square. Stick one right there. Yep. That works. Okay. We'll get that one there. And then the last one. Not bad. Just over an hour and 2 cards. Who am I? Don't get used to this. One, you guys know I don't do clean and simple very often, but this just came together. This die set's adorable. So yeah, 2 cards. One a shaker card. You know? Who'd have thunk? I wish I could be this prepared all the time. Today just kind of worked out. Mostly because I was watching Tim Holtz and like prepping. I was like die cutting and getting things ready and stuff, and everything was just coming together. But yeah, we got this die set. Oh, let me put the stamps away again before I lose them. That's just proper stamping etiquette. Is put your stamps away, because otherwise they'll disappear. Where's the other? It is. I was like, where's the backing sheet for this set? So yeah, one stamp set with coordinating little wafer dies, one die set, and 2 cards. And like we could do so many more. Like those little houses in rainbow colors. Like I would like turn a card this way and do like all the little houses in rainbow colors. That would look really cute. And then you could do the trees and like grays behind it or something. Oh, so many ideas. So many ideas. But anyway, 2 cards. Let me zoom in a tiny bit. So we did a shaker card. With the little stars. And then our little moon on the background. Like, oh, so fun. And then the inside. You always got to do something on the inside. So yeah, that was super fun. And then all done in blues. This was a lot of fun. So yeah, who'd have thunk? Don't get used to this. Clean and simple, not really my forte, but I do enjoy it, at times. Here, let me do it like that. These were fun. And yeah, just over an hour. Crazy times, I swear. Like my next live, Sunday at 2 p.m. No guarantees how long it'll be or what sort of chaos is going to erupt. I know I did not splatter. This one would look, I thought about it. This one would look cute with splatter, but it's also just cute as is, But yeah, a part of me would like put the stamp on top. I've shown that. Like take the stamp, make sure it's clean, set it on top so you don't get splatter on the stamp, and then add like some shimmery splatter. That would look really pretty. Ideas, Like this one, I wouldn't. I like how it is. I wouldn't add splatter to this one. But you could also sneak some bling in here too. Like you could really just keep amping it up. But these were good. And then yeah, when I'm done the live, I'll take the photos and do the social medias and yada yada yada. And then for those watching, again, check the description box below the video. I've got links to everything. And the only thing I forgot, I'll add a link to the wide foam tape, because I love this stuff. But everything else is listed and linked in the description box below the video. Thank you, Mitzi, for hanging out with me, for stopping in with Altenew. I appreciate it. And thanks to my unpaid intern who was hiding in the chat and helping out. And yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been a marathon day for live streaming and stuff. I still haven't fully processed Tim Holtz. I need to go back and watch the last little bit of it because my life overlapped just a smidge. So I'll go back and deal with that. And then yeah, I had a video go up, was it just a couple days ago, making a bunch of holiday cards with Altenew's July release. And I will have more videos coming. I was going to use a couple of new release products today, but then I switched because I had this sitting out and it's just so cute. So I plan on doing some more videos because that release was just so good. It was so good. So many things. And then yeah, so I'll have more videos coming. I might have one come, I'm not sure, later today possibly a video tomorrow. We'll see. It's going to depend on my life. And then Sunday, we'll go live at 2 p.m. Central. So I appreciate you all. And you can still splatter on clean and simple. Oh, yeah. Even when it's clean and simple, I will still add splatter. I like these. Although it would look, and I also, because I've shown that, using, like smush this onto a palette and then add a bit of the Altenew's white gouache to tint it. So it'd be, you know, blue splatter. A little bit of that on here would look really pretty too. Just ideas. Ideas, you know? That would look super fun. So anyway, yeah, I appreciate you all, especially tuning in after sitting with Tim Holtz. That is, I will never expect anyone in a million bajillion years to, you know, turn off Tim Holtz, because the inspiration, seriously. So yeah, I appreciate you guys. And that is it for me. I feel like crazy. Like, it's done. We're done. Hooray. But that's actually a good thing. It's getting really warm in here. I've got the door shut, you know, for a little, so it's a little quieter, other than there's like crows outside and neighbors getting their lawnmowers going and all that kind of stuff. But like, I'm sweating. So it's a good thing that this is over with the lights and everything. I'm starting to melt. So I appreciate you all, and I will see you all very soon, either on Sunday at 2 p.m. Central, or I'll just see y'all in the next video. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and a fabulous weekend. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!